English pronunciation can be tricky. Some words look easy but are pronounced in ways you'd never expect. Like this one. How do you pronounce this word? And it is not debris. Let's get started. How do you pronounce this word? It is not cupboard, no. It is cupboard. Cupboard. For example, I grabbed a mug from the cupboard for my coffee. Cupboard. And the second word, how do you pronounce it? It is pronounced like vegetable. Vegetable. For instance, adding more vegetables to your diet can improve your well-being. Vegetable. What about this tricky word? How do you pronounce it? Mortgage? No. It is mortgage. Mortgage. T is silent. And the example is, they finally paid off their mortgage after 20 years. Mortgage. Okay, what about this one? How do you pronounce it? It is pronounced like debris. Or, in British English, debris. Oh, I like this one. Debris. Or debris. For instance, the storm left debris all over the streets. So, debris or debris. Moving on to the next one. How do you pronounce it? It is rural. Rural. Like this one. For example, he grew up in a small rural town. Rural. Okay, guys. How do you pronounce this word? A very tricky one. It's entrepreneur. Entrepreneur. Can you imagine that? She became a successful entrepreneur by starting her own business. So it's entrepreneur. I'm still struggling with this one. And don't confuse it with the next one. How do you pronounce this word? It is interpreter. Interpreter. For instance, the interpreter translated the speech for the international audience. Interpreter. And what about this word? How do you pronounce it? It is pronounced like coupon. Coupon. For example, I used a coupon to get a discount. Coupon. Guys, what about this one? What about this word? It is pronounced like gesture. Gesture. For instance, he made a kind gesture by holding the door open. Gesture. Moving on to the next one. How do you pronounce this word? Genre. No, it is genre. Genre. For instance, my favorite movie genre is science fiction. What about you? What's your favorite movie genre? Okay, what about this one? It is pronounced like drought. Not drought. Drought. For instance, the farmers struggled because of the drought. Drought. We have another French word here. And how do you pronounce it? Is it ballet? Ballet, maybe? No. It is ballet. Ballet. And the example is, she has been practicing ballet since she was 5. Ballet. What about this one? How do you pronounce it? Comfortable. No, it is comfortable. Comfortable. For instance, this chair is so comfortable that I could sit in it all day. Not true. Not about my chair, but yeah. Comfortable. What about this one? How do you pronounce this beautiful word? It is jewellery. Jewellery. For instance, she wore a beautiful piece of jewellery at the party. Jewellery. Okay, what about this one? A very delicious word. It is raspberry. Raspberry. And the example is, I love to eat raspberries in my morning yogurt. How yum. Raspberry. And we have this one. How do you pronounce it? It is pronounced like resume. Resume. For example, make sure to send in your resume when applying for the job. How do you pronounce it? Mischievous? No, it is mischievous. 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 For example, her mischievous smile made it clear she was up to something fun. Mischievous. How do you pronounce it? It is pronounced like almond. Almond. By the way, in American English, L can be pronounced like almond. I think it's like that. Yeah, almond. But I like the British one more. Almond. It's more beautiful. What do you think? How do you pronounce it? And here is the example sentence. I love snacking on almonds, especially the roasted ones. So, almond or almond. Oh, almond. Oh, oh. Almond, almond. And the third one is salmon? No, of course, no. It's salmon. L is silent here. Salmon. Do you like salmon? I like salmon. Okay, for example, grilled salmon with lemon is my favorite dinner. Yeah, oh, so good. Okay, it is salmon. What about the next word? How do you pronounce it? It's very tricky. Is it colonel? No, it's kernel. Kernel. Colonel. Oh, okay. For example, the colonel gave orders to his troops before the mission. Colonel. Oh, the trickiest one. And number 5 is Wednesday? No? Wednesday. 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 For example, let's meet for coffee next Wednesday morning. Wednesday. And what about this word? How do you pronounce it? Subtle? I don't think so. It is subtle. Or in British English, I think it's subtle. Subtle. But I prefer subtle. Subtle. For instance, there was a subtle change in her tone, but I noticed it. Subtle. Moving on to the next one. How do you pronounce this word? Receipt. Receipt. It's receipt. Receipt. So P is silent here. Receipt. For instance, keep the receipt in case you need to return the shoes. A receipt. And don't confuse it with this word. How do you pronounce it? Recipe? Recipe? No. It's a recipe. Recipe. For instance, I found a new recipe for chocolate cake online. A receipt? A recipe. Moving on to the next one. What about this word? Is it knife? Knief. No, it's knife. Knife. For example, be careful with that knife. It's really sharp. And here are two more examples with silent letters. How do you pronounce this word? Honest. Honest. No, it's not like that. It's honest. H is silent. Honest. Honest. For example, she gave an honest answer during the interview. Honest. And the next one is wrist. No, it's not a... Okay, it's a wrist, not wrist. 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 W is silent here. Wrist. And here is an example. He injured his wrist while playing basketball. Okay, what about the next word? How do you pronounce it? Chameleon. Chameleon. Karma, 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 chameleon. You come and go. You come and go. Life would be easy if colors were like my dreams. Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green. Okay. It is chameleon. Chameleon. For instance, the chameleon changed colors to blend into its surroundings. Chameleon. Okay, let's move on to the next ones. How do you pronounce these two words? Okay, which one do you pronounce like dessert? The first one or the second one? The second one. Dessert. For instance, my favorite dessert is chocolate cake with ice cream. What's your favorite dessert? Let me know in the comments. And the first one is desert. Desert. For example, the desert is hot and dry with very little rain. So desert and dessert. What about this word? Is it niche or niche? Actually, both. You can pronounce it like niche and niche. I love niche more. For instance, she found her niche in graphic design and loves her job. What is your pronunciation of the next word? It's pronunciation. Pronunciation. For example, his pronunciation of French words is really impressive. What about this one? How do you pronounce it? Meme? Mama? Mama? No, it's meme. Meme. For instance, that funny meme went viral in just a few hours. Meme. Okay, and this one. Do you know how to pronounce it correctly? Is it espresso? No. Espresso. Espresso. For instance, I need a shot of espresso to wake me up in the morning. Espresso. And what about this word? Is it sandwich? No, it's sandwich. Sandwich. For instance, I made a turkey sandwich for lunch. Sandwich. Okay, we have 4 more left. How do you pronounce this one? Library. No, it's library. Library. I spent the afternoon studying at the library. Library. Oof, what about this tricky one? Is it iron? Iron? It's iron. Iron. The trickiest one, really. For instance, he pressed his shirt with an iron before the interview. Okay. Not iron or iron. It's iron. Iron. What about the next word? How do you pronounce it? It's chaos. Chaos. The traffic was absolute chaos after the concert. Chaos. Okay, guys. How do you pronounce this word? The trickiest one. It is not corpse. Not course. It is core. Core. He joined the Marine Corps after graduating from college. How do you pronounce it? It's kind of tricky. It should be epitome in British English or epitome in American English. I prefer epitome. Epitome. And what does it mean? It means a perfect example. For example, she's the epitome of kindness, always thinking of others. So it is epitome or epitome.
Epitome of evil.
Okay, moving on. What about the second word? How do you pronounce it? Hyperbole? It is pronounced like hyperbole. Hyperbole. And it means exaggerated statements, not meant to be taken literally. For instance, saying I've told you a million times is just a hyperbole.
That's hyperbole.
Okay, guys, what about the next one? How do you pronounce it? It should be pronounced like thorough. Thorough. I love this sound. Thorough. And what does it mean? It means complete or detailed. For instance, make sure to do a thorough check before submitting your work. Work thorough.
Very thorough.
How do you pronounce this cute word? It should be squirrel. Squirrel. And of course, it's a small animal that climbs trees and stores nuts. For example, a squirrel ran across the power line and surprised everyone. So it is squirrel. Squirrel.
Yep, squirrel.
What about the next one? How do you pronounce it? Accessory? No. Accessory. Accessory. And it is an extra item that adds style or function. For instance, a scarf is the perfect winter accessory, stylish and warm.
You're not a toy, you're an accessory.
What about the next word? How do you pronounce it? It is choir. Choir. And of course, it is a group of singers. Singers. For instance, she sings in the school choir every Sunday. Choir. Choir.
The highest choir of angels.
Okay, what about the next word? How do you pronounce it? It should be pronounced like scissors. Scissors. And of course, it's a tool used for cutting. For example, don't run with scissors. It's dangerous.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot!
How do you pronounce the next word? A super common one. It should be pronounced like vocabulary. Vocabulary. And it is the set of words you know or use. For example, reading helps expand your vocabulary naturally.
My vocabulary is not large.
Okay, we are halfway through. How are you doing so far? Not too challenging? Let's move on. What about the next word? How do you pronounce it? Gnome. No, it should be pronounced like gnome. Gnome. And it is a small mythical, another tricky word, mythical, creature or garden figure. For instance, that gnome in the garden creeps me out at night.
To find a secret gnome.
Okay, what about the next one? Again, we have a silent letter here. It should be pronounced like aisle. Aisle. And it is a walkway between rows. For example, in a store or plane. And here is an example. She walked down the aisle in a beautiful white dress.
I said the aisle!
Okay, what about the next one? How do you pronounce it? It is pronounced like rhythm. 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 It is a pattern of beats in music or movement. For instance, he clapped perfectly in rhythm with the music.
I keep the rhythm below the belt.
What about the next word? It is very tricky. It is pronounced like quinoa. Can you imagine? Quinoa. And it is a grain like superfood. For example, I had a delicious quinoa salad with avocado and feta.
He can't even pronounce quinoa.
Okay, what about this one? Can you pronounce it? It should be pronounced like meteorological. Meteorological. And it is something related to weather. For example, the storm caught even the meteorological experts off guard.
Meteorological balloon?
It should be meteorological.
Meteorological.
Okay, what about the next one? It should be pronounced like indict. Indict. And it means to formally accuse of a crime. For instance, they chose not to indict due to lack of evidence.
I can indict you for obstructing justice.
Okay, guys, we're almost done. Just a couple of words left. How do you pronounce the next one? And it should be pronounced like infamous. Infamous. And it means being famous for something bad. Like, he's infamous for always being late to meetings.
Now make him infamous!
And the last one. Are you ready? Ta-da! How do you pronounce this one? Okay, it should be pronounced like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Ha! Of course it is a playful word, but still. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Okay, you can just break it down. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Ha! Can you beat me here? I guess no.
These silly words like
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Let me know in the comments how many of this did you already know? And which ones were the most surprising? Thank you guys for being and singing with me today. Don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for more language content. Те, кто не досмотрел до конца, тут какашка.